Okay, we're back.
Yeah, this is my father and mother, and on the left side is Yassel, that we called him Yoshko at home, and they didn't survive.
All right, so you can sort of see the religious.
Yeah, you could see that my father has a black hat, and then my mother has a shaitel.
Right.
That was very naturally that they were shaitels.
Okay, so now, hold on, Helen, take this. Now, talk about this picture if you can. Okay, good. Okay.
I can sit because.
Picture? Who's in the wedding picture?
Okay. Okay, but.
So go ahead. I'll hold it like this. Okay, now can you look in the wedding picture?
Yeah. On the wedding picture is there, as you see, myself and Sruchu, my husband, and on the right side is his nephew.
Let's talk about just your family.
Yeah.
Picture. Okay, so this is Babi, Helen, and Zaidi Sruchu.
Yeah, and then you have Shamu.
Okay, this is my mother.
Yeah.
And my father.
Right.
And they were married then?
They were married already,
okay,
right?
When did you get married?
I got married in June 1946.
Okay, and then over here is that?
That is Rivchu next.
Rivchu is
there.
Here.
And then also Baba is a niece for Sruchu, and her husband, Yumi, is standing up there.
Okay.
And then is there Moishi, his brother, and Hershey, his brother.
Okay, these two. And this is Martin.
Martin is then the first one.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is a brother, Martin.
Yeah.
Okay. These are Sruchu's brothers.
Yeah, brothers Hershey and Moishi.
Okay. And this is Shamu.
This is Shamu on the right, yeah.
This is a brother.
But my brother Shamu. There's only two brothers that survived,
right,
Shamu
so
and
of the 7 children, 5 survived.
5 survived. 2 brothers and 3 girls.
Right, and that one picture was Yoshka didn't survive?
Yeah, and Zrilo.
Right. Okay, so we'll just take a good picture again. And this is 1946?
That was 1946.
Okay. Okay, so let's continue. So that's kind of the background of the house.
Right.
And we'll come back to it if we find other things that we want to talk about. So I think we mentioned it a little bit. How old were you when you felt the persecution was starting? So if you say 19...
How old when it started?
Yeah.
I think in 1938, 39, when they overthrew the Czech government.
Right. So
then we started to feel little changes in the atmosphere.
Right. So you were about how old?
13.
You were 13?
In 1939, yes.
Wow. So you were 13. So my mother was 18?
No, 13 and 6.
Is 19?
19.
And Rivchu was?
Rivchu was 4 years younger than she was. 9.
So 9, 13, and 19.
Right.
So very close to the ages of my grandchildren, 9 and 13.
Yeah. So you can imagine the difference of lifestyle today.
So like you said, you weren't allowed to go to the school?
Till 1942 when I was 16. Then they didn't let, because I went to public school.
Right.
And they didn't let the Jews go to public school anymore.
Right. So you stopped school in 1942.
1942.
And that's when you said your father and mother had a little bit of a tutor for you to...
Yes, not just for me, in the city, in one of the buildings, a woman that ran over from Germany, and then she opened like a private tutoring class for whoever, that's what she made a living of, and that whoever could afford to pay for that. So that's why my mother put me there for a couple of hours.
Right. So I guess the grandparents were positive, and they didn't, they continued to live life, and they wanted to see the best in things.
Right. Because nobody imagined that that's
Right.
going to come, whatever it came.
Right. Okay. So when the I guess the Hungarians came, what were changes in your house or yours? Like you spoke a little bit. You couldn't go to school anymore.
Right. So we tried, to go. So that time we still could go to the store, to waste our times and be around helping my mother around the house or things like that. I mean, they tried to be occupied a little bit with friends and so on.
Was the shoe store still open?
Yeah, I think the end of 42 somehow they took away already. They call it they closed down actually the stores for all the Jews in the city.
So I know this. I'm sure everybody knows this, but like they didn't. It was just lock the door and leave.
No, they just made us close the door and not to be opened again. And all the merchandise was there.
Was there?
Yeah.
Right. And now,
a matter of fact, one episode was in 42 that the Hungarians, that's when they started really, that they went around on Shabbos morning and to whoever they knew, whoever couldn't provide them with a Hungarian citizenship. So whoever didn't have that, they actually took them out from the bed and took them to the train.
Wow.
And so we didn't know anything about it. So somebody came to my parents' house and they said that they took people out from the beds and there are people without shoes or anything. So we had to go to the store on Shabbos. And I went to with my brothers and we packed up shoes because that time the store was still ours. And we packed up shoes tied up with a rope and as many shoes as we could take on both hands. We ran to the train station and provide them with the shoes as much as we were able to take. But then the Hungarians somehow took Morci by mistake on the train also.
Oh.
So here we went home and crying that to my father that they took him up to the train. So my father had connection to the head of the police, like the captain of, and my father promised him because we also sold boots, men's boots. So he promised them, and my father went to his house and knew him personally, and he phoned, and they took off my brother and Batyu. That's about 2 stations or whatever.
Wow.
After.
I never heard that story.
Yeah, sure. And that's how naturally my father was able to pay for that. The captain, he was a very Jew lover, he was very good and friend for Jews. So that's what happened actually then. And that was then, on that train was also the Munkacher Rebbe's son-in-law. That means that time the Rebbe was already, the Munkacher Rebbe, the son-in-law, because the old Rebbe died. So he was actually Rabinovich.
Okay.
And that's it. They took him away and they took him off somewhere. I don't know the rest of the story, but I know that he wound up somewhere in Argentina.
Well, the son-in-law.
And the son-in-law and his wife had 5 children. His wife was an only daughter to the old rabbi. Only daughter, and he married her. And he had 5 children with the only daughter of the old rabbi. And the wife died. That means the mother of the 5 children died. But they had a nanny. Oh. So the nanny continued to raise the children. Oh. And they wound up in Argentina. And after that is a story that I came back afterwards. I don't want to get involved with it.
Okay. Okay, so let's just stop it for a second.